David Keith McCallum, Jr. is a Scottish actor and musician. He is best known for his roles as Illya Kuryakin, a Russian-born secret agent, in the 1960s television series The Man from U.N.C.L.E. as interdimensional operative Steel in Sapphire Steel, and for his current role as NCIS Medical Examiner, Dr. Donald Ducky Mallard in the series NCIS. Early life: McCallum was born in Glasgow, Scotland, the second of two sons of Dorothy Dorman, a cellist, and orchestral leader David McCallum, Sr. When he was 10, his family moved to London for his father's move to lead the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Early in the Second World War he was evacuated to Scotland, where he lived with his mother at Gartachan by Loch Lomond. McCallum won a scholarship to University College School, a boys' independent school in Hampstead, London, where, encouraged by his parents to prepare for a career in music, he played the oboe. In 1946 he began doing boy voices for the BBC Radio Repertory Company. Also involved in local amateur drama, at age 17 he appeared as Oberon in an open-air production of A Midsummer Night's Dream with the Play and Pageant Union. He left school at age 18 and, following military service with the Royal West African Frontier Force, attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, where Joan Collins was a classmate. Career: McCallum became assistant stage manager of the Glyndebourne Opera Company in 1951. In 1951 he did his national service where he was commissioned into the Middlesex Regiment and seconded to the Gold Coast Regiment. He began his acting career doing boy voices for BBC Radio in 1947 and began taking bit parts in British films from the late 1950s, and his first acting role was in Whom the Gods Love, Die Young, playing a doomed royal. A James Dean-themed photograph of McCallum caught the attention of the Rank Organisation, who signed him in 1956. However, in an interview with Alan Titchmarsh broadcast on November 3, 2010, McCallum stated that he had actually held his equity card since 1946. Early roles included a juvenile delinquent in Violent Playground, an outlaw in Robbery Under Arms, and as junior RMSA Titanic radio operator Harold Bride in A Night to Remember. His first American film was Freud: The Secret Passion, directed by John Huston, which was shortly followed by a role in Peter Ustinov's Billy Budd. McCallum played Lieutenant CMDR Eric Ashley Pitt Dispersal in The Great Escape, which was released in 1963. He took the role of Judas Iscariot in 1965's The Greatest Story Ever Told. Notable pre-U.N.C.L.E. television roles included 2 appearances on The Outer Limits and a guest appearance on Perry Mason in 1964 as defendant Philippe Bataille in the case of the 50 Millionth Frenchman. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., intended as a vehicle for Robert Vaughn, made McCallum into a sex symbol, his Beatles-style blonde haircut providing a trendy contrast with Vaughn's traditional appearance. McCallum's role as the mysterious Russian agent Illya Kuryakin was originally conceived as a peripheral one. However, McCallum took the opportunity to construct a complex character whose appeal rested largely in what was shadowy and enigmatic about him. Kuryakin's popularity with the audience and Vaughn's and McCallum's on-screen chemistry were quickly recognized by the producers, and McCallum was elevated to co-star status. Although the show aired at the height of the Cold War, McCallum's Russian alter ego became a pop culture phenomenon. The actor was inundated with fan letters, and a Beatles-like frenzy followed him everywhere he went. While playing Kuryakin, McCallum received more fan mail than any other actor in MGM's history. Hero worship even led to a record, Love Ya, Illya, performed by Alma Cogan under the name Angela and the Fans, which was a pirate radio hit in Britain in 1966. A 1990s rock-rap group from Argentina named itself Illya Kuryakin and the Valderramas in honor of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Character: McCallum received 2 Emmy nominations in the course of the show's 4-year run for playing the intellectual and introverted secret agent. McCallum reprised the role of Kuryakin in a 1983 TV movie, The Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. A 15 years later affair. In 1986 McCallum reunited with Robert Vaughn again on an episode of the A-Team entitled The Say U.N.C.L.E. Affair, complete with chapter titles, the word affair in the title, the phrase, open channel D, and similar scene transitions. In an interview for a retrospective television special, David McCallum told of a visit to the White House during which, while he was being escorted to meet the U.S. President, a Secret Service agent told him, "You're the reason I got this job." After The Man from U.N.C.L.E. McCallum never quite repeated the popular success he had gained as Kuryakin until NCIS, though he did become a familiar face on British television in shows such as Cold It's, Kidnapped, and in ITV science fiction series Sapphire and Steel opposite Joanna Lumley. He also played the title character in a short-lived US version of The Invisible Man in 1975. McCallum appeared on stage in Australia in Run for Your Wife during 1987 and 1988, and the production toured the country. Other members of the cast were Jack Smethurst, Eric Sykes and Katie Manning. McCallum starred with Diana Rigg in the 1989 TV miniseries Mother Love. In 1991 and 1992 McCallum played gambler John Gray, one of the principal characters in the television series Trainer. In the 1990s, McCallum guest-starred in 2 U.S. television series. In the first season of the television series Sequest DSV, he appeared as the law enforcement officer Frank Cobb of the fictional Broken Ridge of the Åland Confederation, an underwater mining camp off the coast of Australia by the Great Barrier Reef. He also had a guest star role in one episode of Babylon 5. In 1994, McCallum narrated the acclaimed documentaries Titanic, Death of a Dream and Titanic, The Legend Lives On for A&E television networks. This was the second project about the Titanic on which he had worked. The first was the 1958 film A Night to Remember, in which he had had a small role. In the same year, McCallum hosted and narrated the TV special Ancient Prophecies. This special, which was followed soon after by 3 others, told of people and places historically associated with foretelling the end of the world and the beginnings of new eras for mankind. NCIS. Since 2003, McCallum has starred in the CBS television series NCIS as Dr. Donald Ducky Mallard, the team's chief medical examiner and one of the show's most popular characters. In one episode, NCIS agent Leroy Jethro Gibbs is asked, "What did Ducky look like when he was younger?" Gibbs' response, "Illya Kuryakin." According to the behind-the-scenes feature on the 2006 DVD of NCIS Season 1, McCallum became an expert in forensics to play Mallard, including appearing at medical examiner conventions. In the feature, Belisario says that McCallum's knowledge became so vast that at the time of the interview he was considering making him a technical advisor on the show. McCallum appeared at the 21st annual James Earl Ashe Lecture, held May 19, 2005 at the Armed Forces Institute of Pathology, an evening for honoring America's service members. His lecture, Reel-to-Reel Forensics, with CMDR. Craig T. Malloch, U.S. Armed Forces Medical Examiner, featured a presentation comparing the real-life work of the Armed Forces Medical Examiner staff with that of the fictional naval investigators appearing on NCIS. In late April 2012 it was announced that McCallum had reached agreement on a 2-year contract extension with CBS TV. The move means he could remain an NCIS regular past his 80th birthday. Music. In the 1960s, McCallum recorded 4 albums for Capitol Records with music producer David Axelrod. Music. A Part of Me, music. A Bit More of Me, music. It's Happening Now. And McCallum. The best known of his pieces today is The Edge, which is one of the most sampled pieces in hip-hop, including Dr. Dre as the intro and riff to the track The Next Episode, MIA by Missing Links, and No Regrets by Master Ace. His approach. McCallum did not sing on these records, as many television stars of the 1960s did when offered recording contracts. As a classically trained musician, he conceived a blend of oboe, English horn, and strings with guitar and drums, and presented instrumental interpretations of hits of the day. The official arranger on the albums was H.B. Barnum. However, McCallum conducted, and contributed several original compositions of his own, over the course of 4 LPs. The first 2, Music. A Part of Me and Music. A Bit More of Me, have been issued together on CD on the Zonophone label. On Open Channel D, McCallum did sing on the first 4 tracks: Communication, House on Breckenridge Lane, In the Garden, Under the Tree, and My Carousel. The music tracks are the same as the Zonophone CD. This CD was released on the Rev Ola label. The single release of Communication reached number 32 in the UK singles chart in April 1966. Personal life: he was married to actress Jill Ireland from 1956 to 1967. They had 3 sons, Paul, Jason, and Val. He introduced Ireland to Charles Bronson when both were filming The Great Escape in 1963. She subsequently left McCallum, and went on to marry Bronson in 1968. He has been married to Catherine Carpenter since 1967. They have a son, Peter, and a daughter, Sophie. David and Catherine are active with charitable organizations that support the United States Marine Corps. Catherine's father was a Marine who served in the Battle of Iwo Jima, and her brother lost his life in the Vietnam War. David McCallum has 6 grandchildren. The McCallums live in New York. Filmography. References. External links: David McCallum Fans Online, fans from U.N.C.L.E. David McCallum at the Internet Movie Database, David McCallum at the Internet Broadway Database, David McCallum at the Internet Off-Broadway Database, David McCallum at chvibe.com.